There's a storm coming in Los Angeles, but not the kind that shakes palm trees or darkens skies. This one is silent, emotional, and might reshape the identity of the Lakers for the next decade. If you've been following the NBA lately, then you already feel it, that quiet but undeniable tremor under the surface. LeBron James, the face of the Lakers since 2018, may be closer than ever to the end of his journey in purple and gold. Before we dive into the deep waters of what's really going on behind closed doors in El Segundo and what insiders are whispering about LeBron's future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and activate the notification bell so you never miss an update on the Lakers, NBA trade rumors, and everything in between. Now let's get into what could be the most impactful offseason decision of the decade, the uncertain fate of LeBron James in Los Angeles. Despite having officially exercised his player option for the 2025-26 season, a deal worth an astronomical $52.5 million, LeBron's stay in LA is far from guaranteed. His signature doesn't lock down his presence. In fact, it only thickens the plot. What looked like a commitment might actually be a strategic move, and recent comments by his agent, Rich Paul, and veteran journalist Brian Windhorst hint that we're witnessing the final pages of LeBron's Lakers chapter. Windhorst, a voice that has followed LeBron since his early days in Akron, didn't sugarcoat the truth. In a recent interview with ESPN Cleveland, he was clear, they're starting to grow apart. LeBron's time with the Lakers is nearing the end. And that bombshell wasn't thrown lightly. According to Windhorst, the shift began during the franchise's most high-profile move in years, the stunning trade for Luka Doncic. Now here's the shocking part. LeBron, the man who once orchestrated entire rosters with subtle nods and behind-the-scenes calls, had zero involvement in that decision. He wasn't for it. He wasn't against it. He simply wasn't asked, said Windhorst. For someone who's shaped franchises with his mere presence, being sidelined in such a major decision was not just surprising, it was symbolic. It marked a clear change of guard, a quiet dethroning, and a not-so-subtle pivot toward the future. Because make no mistake, Luka Doncic is the future of this team. At 26, entering his prime with a combination of playmaking vision and scoring gravity rarely seen in NBA history, Doncic is now the foundation of this new Lakers identity. And in that future, the role of LeBron James is no longer at the center. The spotlight is shifting, and LeBron feels it. This new direction has raised legitimate questions. How much longer will LeBron tolerate being a secondary piece? At age 40, with an unmatched legacy but an ever-ticking clock, James doesn't have time for slow rebuilds or identity shifts. He wants to compete now. He wants to win now. And his agent, Rich Paul, made that crystal clear in his recent statements. LeBron wants to compete for titles. The roster as it stands is not enough, Paul said bluntly, echoing the frustration bubbling behind the scenes. It's not about drama. It's about legacy. It's about time. And it's about one of the greatest ever refusing to ride quietly into the background. Even though Paul publicly denied that LeBron has requested a trade or that such discussions are happening, everything around the situation suggests otherwise. When the words and the actions don't align, it's the silences that speak loudest. There's growing noise in NBA front offices and media circles that the Lakers and LeBron may be on a slow, careful path toward a mutual parting, a separation masked by smiles, managed by PR, but rooted in irreconcilable basketball goals. Now, let's talk realism. Even if LeBron wants out, executing a trade is a completely different battlefield. According to ESPN's Bobby Marks, there simply isn't a trade market for LeBron right now, not in the traditional sense. The reasons? Well, they're as complex as they are compelling. First, there's the contract. LeBron's $52.5 million deal is massive. That kind of number eliminates most of the league right out of the gate. Only a handful of teams can absorb that salary while maintaining enough talent around him to actually contend, which is all that matters to him at this point. Second, and more importantly, there's the no-trade clause. That means LeBron has full control over where he goes. He can veto any trade he doesn't like. No rebuilding team. No half promises. Only real, immediate championship opportunities. He's not chasing stats or minutes anymore. He's chasing rings. And that demand narrows the market to almost nothing. So even if the Lakers would consider moving him, even if both sides quietly agree it's time, the execution of such a move becomes a puzzle few franchises are prepared to solve. It's not just about wanting LeBron. It's about qualifying for LeBron. And don't forget the human side of all this. We're not just talking about a player. We're talking about a global icon, a brand, a leader, a father, and a man who's deeply rooted in LA culture now. His production company, his family, his son Bronny just drafted by the Lakers, all of these things tie him to the city far beyond basketball. That's part of why fans are struggling to even consider the idea of him walking away. But basketball, as we've learned time and again, doesn't always follow sentimental logic. So what does the future look like? In truth, there are only 3 real paths from here. The first is that LeBron stays, embraces a secondary role, and becomes a stabilizing veteran presence as Doncic leads the new era. It's a graceful sunset, one where he still contributes meaningfully but accepts the shift in power. It's possible, but would LeBron truly be satisfied with that? The second path is a stealthy trade. A scenario where LeBron agrees to be moved to a team like Philadelphia, Phoenix, or even Golden State, franchises with enough star power and playoff ambition to give him one last dance at the top. If something like that happens, it won't be public until it's done. That's how this kind of exit would be handled, behind the scenes, with dignity, and timed perfectly. The third path is the most radical, retirement. And while that sounds extreme, LeBron has hinted before that he's not afraid to walk away on his own terms if the game no longer offers what he seeks. If the right situation doesn't materialize, if the fit isn't there, he may just choose to end his career where it is rather than force something that doesn't align with his vision. Whichever direction he takes, one thing is clear: the end of the LeBron era in Los Angeles is closer than we thought. The signals are there. The language is changing. The decisions are being made without him. And for a player who's always been at the center of every franchise he joined, that shift says more than any press conference ever could. It's a strange place for Lakers fans. On one hand, they want to see LeBron go out in style, competing for a championship, reminding the world of who he still is. On the other, they're beginning to dream again, to wonder what a Doncic-led future might look like without the shadow of the king. This is not a goodbye yet. But it's definitely no longer a sure thing. And maybe that's the story. Maybe the greatness of LeBron James was never just about titles or MVPs, but about constantly reshaping the league, creating new chapters where others saw endings. Whether this chapter in LA ends with a bang, a whisper, or a handoff, one thing is certain: we're witnessing history again. So stay locked in. Because whatever happens next won't just define the Lakers' future, it'll define how we remember the twilight of one of the greatest basketball careers of all time. If you made it this far, let us know in the comments: should the Lakers move on from LeBron now, or ride it out one more season? And if he does leave, where should he go? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're always in the loop. The storm is coming, and you'll want a front row seat. Here's a crucial insight for you: diving into financial education can significantly elevate your quality of life. In the realm of finance, take the time to explore bonds and stocks, with a special emphasis on real estate investment trusts, REITs. These investments have the potential to generate passive income. Approach this journey with diligence and opt for reputable investment brokerages globally. By doing so, you'll be laying a solid foundation for a more secure and prosperous future.